let's chat about Landon Donovan's comments yesterday. If you watched Portugal against Spain, Portugal won their second Nations League title. There was a moment Cristiano Ronaldo is on screen and he's in tears, celebrating his trophy or whatever.
Right. So no reason to mention the U.S. at all because this is Portugal versus Spain.
And Landon Donovan, as Ronaldo's on screen, he goes, "This is what it means to represent your country. I can't help but think about our guys on vacation, not wanting to play in Gold Cup. It's pissing me off." And even as I'm watching this, I'm like, damn, he's really saying pissing me off on national television is also all right. Like, he didn't have to use those words, but he really he
went for it.
He did go for it.
Clearly, he was upset.
Yes. So we should ask: are Landon Donovan's comments out of line? Because some people, some players, even
Pulisic's dad,
Weston McKennie, not happy with those statements.
All right. So the bigger question becomes: is it a hindrance? And there's been comments from former players the last few days about the A crop of U.S. men's national team players not being a part of both these friendlies and the Gold Cup coming up. Are his comments out of line? Are Landon Donovan's comments out of line? No. The way he's handling it makes him look like a back in my day curmudgeon. Also, the hairline doesn't help. You know what I mean? You're looking like Mr. Burns, bro. Take care of it. But it's feeling a little bit like back in my day, we walked uphill both ways, to play for the national team when you're not really sure of what's happening. But I kind of agree with him in the sense that, Gold Cup is the last competitive competition knockout tournament, the last time we really have to test ourselves and put ourselves under pressure before the World Cup, which we automatically qualify for. So to not have your best players there, unless you're injured and cannot be there, and I mean like injured where you can't play, not I have a slight knock, I'd like to take some time off. To some degree, you have to be there. It's building that chemistry with your manager, with the team, head coach, whatever. It's being a good example to the younger players that are going to get that opportunity in Gold Cup, because it's not just going to be your A squad. And it's showing the country that, like, look how serious we're taking this with the World Cup coming up. Not to suggest that they're not taking it serious, but it's showing that in your actions. I kind of tend to agree with him on this.
So there's a lot where a lot of my feelings are they're a little bit all over the place. I understand I understand both sides here. I think this Gold Cup is an odd one. Firstly, because it's happening at the same time as the Club World Cup. So there are players that are playing in the Club World Cup.
Not many,
but there are some. So the importance of the tournament is affected in some way. It's influenced by this other thing that it's distracting at the very least. So Christian Pulisic not playing the Club World Cup, he has no real reason outside of something either personal or injury or whatever to not play.
And mind you, his next season he's only going to play once a week. There's no European competition for AC Milan.
Right. Well, if he stays there, we don't know where he ends up.
As of right now, he's a Milan player, so I'm going to go under the impression.
Yeah. So there must be some level of fatigue that he is worried about, that maybe the federation is worried about as well, that they want to prioritize and make sure that he's playing and available at the World Cup.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. From the federation, they said that he decided not to be a part of it, not that they told him not to be.
No, correct. Yeah. So if they're respecting that, they're not like throwing him under the bus. At least the federation is not.
Right.
And it's different than when Landon Donovan decided to take a sabbatical. And
what are you, Pulisic's dad? Jesus Christ.
But Jurgen Klinsmann was like, no, I'm not happy with it. Like he threw him under the bus. He was like, we don't, didn't get called in for those in that next window or the window after or whatever, when we kind of probably could have used Landon Donovan, but Jurgen Klinsmann was like not forgiving that he took that time off. Mm-hmm. So I get it. Like is it like, do I fully agree with Landon? Maybe to some degree. And in the moment when I was watching Cristiano Ronaldo celebrate that, and they also made the point of like, look, these guys are at the end of their seasons. You know that they're exhausted. The game, Portugal, Spain went into extra time and went to penalties and everything. And you know they are mentally and physically drained, and they are still there.
The guy we're talking about is 40 something.
He's 40, right? And that, even just hearing that point, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get like, wow, look at the dedication.
And look how much it means. And to some degree, yeah.
I get it. But even if the U.S. wins Gold Cup, we're not going to be saying, look how much it means. Like, it's just not the same thing. I mean,
that's not true. If the camera cuts to Weston McKennie crying, hugging the trophy, you're going to say...
Yes, maybe, but he's playing the Club World Cup. So that, it's like...
Good point. Again, I just didn't want to say Pulisic.
No, I understand. It's just, again,
if the camera cuts to
Arston... The Gold Cup might...
He's crying.
My issue with the Gold Cup is that it should be every 4 years and not every 2.
Who cares?
I know. That? It's just... But it makes me care a little, just a tad less, because it's every 2 years, and it's not...
This is our Euros.
It is, but the Euros are every 4 years, and they hold a little bit more weight. But this region, we kind of probably need a Gold Cup every 2 years, because we're competing with all these other sports. There has to be a little bit of like, hey, U.S. soccer's still here, everybody. Let's make sure. So
sorry that the whole nation doesn't shut down when the U.S. plays. They barely even shut up to the stadium.
Shout out to Chuck Blazer for inventing Gold Cup.
We never did anything wrong, bro.
Chuck Blazer,
everything was allegedly, bro.
Okay, show me the evidence. Oh, you have evidence?
Oh, you have evidence? Wow, it's overwhelming, actually. How long do I have to take? How long does this file download for?
So yeah, that's kind of my
wire.
So I'm affected emotionally by it, where I'm like, I hear Landon's comments, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe he's right about this.
Were they out of line?
Were they out of line? I don't think they're out of line, but this is the
on a scale of 0 to 10, on 1 to 10, 10 is way out of line to 1 is thank you for speaking truth to power, Landon Donovan. Where are you on that?
This is like maybe a 3. This is just not really that.
That means you're closer, right?
No. 10 is out of line, and 1 is like closer to like.
Yo, thank you for saying that.
Oh, I guess I don't even. This is a strange.
Wait. Then you reset it. 1 is you should have never said it. 10 is thank you for saying it.
Then 3. Yeah, he 1 is like, I'm okay with him voicing this.
I'm like 7.
All right, that's fine. It's just something where when I think of like what you put out into the public, into the media, like this is, I'm like more generous. I'm like, I understand, like you're on Fox Sports. You got to say the crazy thing. You got to get some clicks and blah, blah, blah.
During Portugal, Spain, dog. This isn't the time for you
crowbar. You got to they always crowbar U.S. stuff in there. They have to. But as like, this is why Weston McKennie's comments, because he reacted to that. And this is where I kind of agree with Weston. As a peer, as like a media person, I understand Landon saying that. As a peer who played for the national team, is an important figure. There's a damn MVP trophy named after you in Major League Soccer. It's a little, for lack of a better word, thing to do.
Is it a little curmudgeon-y?
Yeah, I guess it's curmudgeon-y as a former player to the pressure that is put on those players. It's not just the former players.
Quite possibly
the
one,
greatest,
if not two. The second, if not the first, the second best American ever
I get it. It's
ever
like,
to play the game.
If he's not on TV saying this, I think it might mean a little more. It might mean something a little bit different. But him saying this, I can understand. Weston McKennie was he called it. I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said it's kind of sad that a player, a former player, especially a player like him, would say something like that, and then Weston McKennie came back with kind of a petty remark about like, people are criticizing us about like losing Nations League and all this stuff, but they lost that previous group like lost and didn't even make it to the World Cup. So he's kind of saying like, well, why are you, but it's kind of a pointless comment because they were heavily criticized for that. So it's not, they were criticized by active players, former players, so
players from other countries.
So you're going to be held accountable. But I understand, it'll ruffle feathers with that current squad and especially as a player like Christian Pulisic, which he's kind of talking about. He didn't say his name. And then we should put up.
Yeah, he didn't have to
Mark
talk it
Pulisic.
because his dad is out of here.
We got more dad drama.
Wow, I don't know what this is like. Dad supporting him, huh?
Yeah. All right, so I got the screen cap. So Mark Pulisic, what he did, he asked ChatGPT or some sort of AI thing. He goes, "Tell me about Landon Donovan's sabbatical and why he took it." And then it goes on. The response was, Landon Donovan took his sabbatical because he was feeling both physically and mentally exhausted after years of competition and the pressure that comes with being a top athlete. Blah blah blah. And like it says, this break allowed him to rest, travel, and ultimately return to the game with a refreshed mindset. He posted. He tagged Landon Donovan, put the little monocle emoji. The caption is which we can't see it because that wasn't a screen cap, but it just says, this guy. I can see a little bit of it. It says, this guy is talking about commitment, look in the mirror and grow a pair and call out names. And then it says something else. I don't remember we read it earlier, but obviously he made his page private. So just real quick, the comments are already like, some people kind of agree. Some people agree. Most people are like, this is soft as hell. Like, Pulisic is an adult. Like, let him handle this. Yeah. And this is something where this is not what Landon said. Like, I gave it like a 3. Like, fine, he said it.
Yeah.
This isn't even really worthy of a response, especially not from your dad. Like, there's no way Christian Pulisic is not like, yo, dad, I don't need you right now.
Bro, first of all, you're a full adult playing in Europe. Don't nobody want to hear from your pops, bro. I don't know what Mr. Brian Donovan looks like. I don't know what James Dempsey looks like. I don't know if that's their name. I don't know what none of these people look like or what their thoughts were when they played the national team. Bro, yeah, doing this is taking the focus away from your son. Really, is what's happening. It's putting the focus on yourself. Mark Pulisic should not be commenting on the internet about stuff Landon Donovan is saying.
Yeah, I mean,
if he's talking about your son, you think he's talking about your son? Let your son do the talking.
Sure, it's kind of pointless and it's fodder for the Cooligans.
Yeah, hey, it's great for us, dude.
So we're not mad about it.
I'm happy to have it.
But it's just such a non-fight. It's such a non-argument that even as Landon is saying it, even Weston McKennie just being like at least addressing it because journalists are gonna ask. I get that. But it's
Weston McKennie standing on business. But can I just say, this kind of goes to prove that Christian Pulisic maybe ain't the captain. Like, and it's not to say he's not a good captain. It's just that if he doesn't want to be that vocal leader, maybe he shouldn't be the captain. You know what I mean? Maybe it should be somebody else who can sort of not stand up for themselves, but willing to put themselves out there in the media and say what they want to say to defend themselves.
He's not a vocal leader.
No, and that's fine.
To begin with,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Dude, in fact, if it makes you a better player to not feel the need to be the vocal leader, then please don't feel the need to be the vocal leader.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be a better player, more comfortable.
And your dad doesn't need to be the vocal leader either.
Your pop probably don't need to get involved.
It's just the argument now is,
and I love a dad that wants to defend their son. Again, grew up with that. You know what I mean?
But so you love that as the fantasy world that you would have loved to
maybe
grow up.
Somewhere my dad's tweeting at my ops, you know? Somewhere in there. But I get it. I respect it. I feel I get the need to want to do it. It just maybe the result is not exactly what you planned.